Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Friday Lunchtime Live. Continuing our theme today, we're going to be talking about improving profitability through the 80-20 rule and looking at our customer list. Very, very powerful place, very powerful way for you to improve your profitability without increasing your sales figure necessarily. So we're going to be looking at that this lunchtime. So as usual, please do let me know if you're watching. Let me have your comments, give me your like so I know that you're here. And if you're watching later, hashtag replay, you know the rules. Now, I just want to check in first. Did you do your challenge from last week? I've just put a post up about that. I want to know if you did your 80-20 homework and went through and looked at which of your tasks are adding the most value to your business and where the trivial many actually are taking away your time and focus from what's most important. So very important that you did that if you want to start making progress. So let me know in that post what progress you've made this week. Okay, so let's crack on. We're talking about the profitability of your customers and how the 80-20 rule is going to affect that. Now, if you were in last week's session, you'll remember that we talked very much about how this 80-20 rule is a key driver of almost all economic activity, and it's particularly important in almost everything we do in our businesses. And the rule is that 20% of our activity is driven by 20% of our activity drives 80% of our results. Now, that's always not as linear as that. It's not always 80-20, it might be 70-30, but the principle always applies of the most of your results are coming from the smallest parts of your activities. So let's look today at how that shows up in our customer list and our customer profitability. So there's a general rule in business, and I found it in probably every client I've ever worked with in the last 20 years, 21 years, that the top few customers are making up the vast majority of your turnover. And there'll be a big block of customers at the bottom of your list that are making up the smallest percentage of your turnover. And it's really important to realize that because there'll be an element of profitability in those large customers at the top end and the small customers at the bottom that are drastically impacting on your gross margin overall, which clearly is then impacting directly onto your bottom net profit line and also showing up in your cash position. So it's really important that we get a grip on this. And there's a simple way to do this with a report you can pull from your accounting system that will give you that visibility you need to make sure you're crystal clear where your profit comes from. And the first time I bring this into a client, you always get a very similar reaction. It's always like, wow, I didn't realize that. And when you just see it laid out in front of you, you get a level of clarity just about where your efforts are going in your business. So these are the key points I'm going to be going through with you this lunchtime. So knowing your customer spread and how that 80-20 looks in your business, looking at your top and bottom customers and really understanding where they sit in the range and your 80-20 spread and what that's meaning to your profitability. And most importantly, what action can you start to take now to start improving the profitability and taking control of who you work with potentially as well? Because I think there's a rule in business where we kind of feel we have to take whatever we can get, especially when times have been tough. And I really want to open your eyes today to the idea of you don't have to work with anyone you don't want to. And once we start to understand more about this spread of customers, I think it naturally will make you much pickier and much, much more aware of who you are working for. So I'm going to share a template with you now that will really, I think, demonstrate and explain what I mean by this 80-20 spread. Let me just get that screen up. Okay. So you have here in front of you a spreadsheet. I hope you can see that okay. If not, please let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can make it any bigger. But this is basically an export of data that I've taken from Xero. It's based on a client, but I've changed all the numbers, so you'll never know who it is. And I've sort of played around with some of the figures just to give you a really good example of what this 80-20 rule looks like. So what you can see here, first of all, we have a list of customers going down the side. Now, this will actually have your customer names on, clearly. And then we have the last few months of income going backwards so that we can really see how our income is built up by our customers over the months. We've then data sorted that current month. So we have the largest customer first and going down in descending order, which I think you can see here. And then we've got a little bit of a Pareto spreadsheet formula over here that is just saying, of these customers here, what percentage of our customer base is it? And what percentage of our income are they making up? And if anyone's interested, I can share this template with you that you can adapt into your business. It's very, very powerful in getting your focus on where your income and your profit's coming from. Hi, Becca. Thank you. Good to hear that's clear. So let's take an example here then. So customer one, we can see, and so you know we have got 50 customers in this list. Customer one is clearly 2% of the customers, but they themselves are making up 12% of our income in total. And we follow that logic down to this point here where we can see our top 10 customers are making up 70% of our income. Okay, so in this case, we have got a 20-70 rule going on. And I found 20-70 is quite representative of most businesses I've ever worked with. It's a very common split. So what that means is 21% of our customers are making up 70% of our income. Now that's really significant. Just that handful, just those few 10 customers, 70% of our income. Just think about what that means. And if we follow that logic down a bit further, we can then see by customer 19, 80% of our income is coming from that 38% of customers. So in our case, we've got this like 20-70 rule going on, then we've got this like 38-80. But nonetheless, the principle is the same. Most of our results are coming from a relatively small number of customers. So in this case, 19 out of 50 customers make up 80%, almost all of our turnover. And then conversely, we have 31 customers making up the last 20%. So just think about how much activity, how much resource, how many phone calls, emails, how much servicing, how many people is it taking to service these vast majority of your customers who are bringing in that small 20% of your income. And this is the key of where this profit gets unlocked from our customers when we start to look at that list. Now, in one of my customers recently, we've been doing this exercise, and they were quite shocked to see this list, actually, because when you're just in it, you're servicing people, you're in the throes of the business. To take a step back and logically look at where the business comes from can be quite an eye-opener. And what they realised was they had a bulk of customers sitting at the bottom who they realised weren't their target customers. They looked up and they said, like, yeah, they're not target customer. They don't appreciate us. They don't pay full rate. They don't pay their bills on time. And actually, it's not who we want to serve. So they've made a policy decision to sack them. They're going to manage them out of the business because they don't want those clients in the business. And that's not being ungrateful. That's just saying that's not who we are and that's not who we serve. So for us to be the most profitable and to do our very best work with the right customers, we need to lose some people off the bottom end. So they are actively managing out those people. And they're also realizing, and this is quite a few of my clients are doing this process right now, especially because they're working through their vivid visions and they're getting great clarity on who they are and who they want to work for. They're actually saying, we don't want to be reliant on that 1 and 2 customer at the top. We don't like how that feels. And we don't like how much power they've got over us. And we don't want to feel that we're making our decisions based, and we're all running around like lunatics to look after this 1 or 2 key customers. So they've made a decision to actually reduce their work with them because that's not how they want their business to feel for them. So this is about not just accepting who you've got in your business. I'm just going to stop that screen share for a moment. So does that make sense? Let me know if that's how that's landing with you. So we can see in that example, can't we, just how those few people make up most of our turnover and how quite a few of our customers are making up a very small percentage of our income. So I'm going to share my screen with you again. Just want to go through a few points with you. I think it's useful for you to, where are we going? We're going there. Okay, so what is actually the risk to your profit and how can we use this information to make your business more profitable? So the key thing is, as I've alluded to just a minute ago, is the reliance on the people at the top of that list. When you're very reliant on a key customer or 1 or 2 or 3 key customers, you are living in a world where you are in fear of losing them. You worry about, oh my God, if we lost that client, we'd be screwed. If that customer went bust, we would lose the money that they owe us and we'd lose their ongoing income. Now, my rule of thumb is this. You shouldn't have any one customer so big that if you lost them, you would be in a loss-making position. Now, you can say that's anywhere between 10 and 20% of your income. No one customer should make up more of. But certainly, if you would be making a loss without them, they are too big for you because they represent a real risk and a real danger to your business. So there's the risk of losing them. And then there is very much that running the account from a place of fear, because that customer's got too much power. They know they've got too much power. And we're constantly going like, oh my God, I'm so afraid of losing them. So we overservice them. We give them far more service than they've bought. And they can suck up a lot of your resource as a result of that. And I find the highest maintenance customers will usually be your biggest ones and your smallest ones. So that feeling of like, if they shout, you've got to jump, whatever they want, they get. And they'll also be very often likely putting a lot of pricing pressure on you because they know they're a big deal to you. They know they're important. So they feel they can throw their weight around. So you end up discounting, throwing more stuff in for free, and that's putting big pressure on your on your gross margins, which again is another example of how those top few customers can be seriously impacting on your profitability. And because you're so fearful and running around servicing them, are you neglecting your other clients? You may be neglecting that sweet spot of your clients who are in the perfect zone of who you want, because that big client is getting everything from you. And also another thing I've seen quite a lot of is that one dominant customer actually determining the direction of your business. So you start to become a shapeshifter. You start to be whoever they want you to be just to keep them happy. And it can move you quite away from your core business of who you want to be and what your business wants to do and where you make your profit. We've also got risk, obviously, in the bottom end of that scale as well. So usually, as we've seen, the majority of your customers are going to make up quite a small proportion of your revenue. Now, the question is, are these customers profitable? Do we make money on this bottom end of our client base? Now, it could be that you've got some very highly profitable customers who need almost no resource. They're pretty much automated, and it's very easy to look after them and make money, in which case that's fantastic. Leave that. But often you'll find is, certainly at the bottom end, I find the smaller the customer, the more high maintenance they are. They can be quite demanding. And you'll usually find your bottom few customers will be loss making, and they are dragging down your business. And it's not just the fact that they're making a loss, it's the fact they're taking up space that you could have had profitable customers in. So the impact of those customers can be quite big to your profitability. And when you cost in the overheads, the cost of servicing them, the fact, picking up the phone every time they ring, all the time spending emailing them, that can suck up a lot of staffing resource, which again could be gainfully used in servicing high profitable customers. So I really believe in carefully guarding the space that your customers take up in your business, because every customer is using up real estate, if you like. They're using your people's resources, they're using up licenses on your software. It costs money to service a client. So think carefully about who is taking up that space in your business. Could a more profitable customer be in that space? Because when we get busy and we start going, oh my goodness me, we're at capacity, we need to take on more people, and we usually leap straight to that conclusion rather than thinking, do you know what? We've got some customers in here who aren't profitable. What if we get rid of those people first? And let's really work on making sure our current client base is highly profitable. If they can't be profitable, we get rid and we use that space for some new customers, which means we'll make more profit, but we won't increase our overheads. Now, there's rarely have I ever found a business who has gone through this process and really made sure their clients are all highly profitable before they start that growth and expansion process. Because it's dead easy to say, oh my God, we're really busy. The easy solution is let's hire more people. The easy solution is let's take on more overhead. It's harder actually to say, right, we need to actually look into this, because it takes more effort to go and work out the profitability of our customers than it takes to just say, let's hire a new person. So I really would encourage you to be thinking about this if you're getting busy, and be thinking about which customers you have that are actually dragging your profitability and your cash and your balance sheet down. So this is a radical thought, but why don't we get picky about who gets to be a customer of our business? We don't have to take whatever we win. We can really be choosy about what marketing message we have that attracts only the right kind of customer. It's okay, niching down is one of the most powerful ways to grow a company. What we've got here, getting rid of less profitable customers is really important in a non-scalable business. Absolutely. If you're in a non-scalable business, this is mission critical. Every hour you've got to spend on a customer has got to be spent with the right people. Thank you for whoever you are. I can't see your name, unfortunately. So decide as a business who you are and who you service. And this is where the vivid vision work really comes into play, because that gets you crystal clear on, this is who I am, This is who I want to serve. This is my dream client that I want to work for. And I'm going to get picky and choosy about who gets to come into my business. Now, that might sound radical, and you may be thinking, hey, I haven't got enough customers. I can't afford to be choosy. But actually, can you afford not to be choosy? Do you really want the crap customers who are going to underpay, be overly demanding, and not make you any money? Which customers are you actually too reliant on? Who is too demanding? Who do you dread ringing up? Whose email do you dread seeing in your inbox? Who do you know is going to kick up a fuss and nothing will ever be good enough? Maybe it is time to get rid of them and get some nicer customers in. And I don't mean sack them today, unless you can afford to, but let's certainly get them on the sack list and work out who needs to go and how we replace them. Which small customers do you know that you need to lose? Who are just, oh yeah, but we've looked after them for years. Oh my goodness me, but they've been with us forever. I don't care. Are they profitable? Are they dragging your business down? Are they high maintenance? Do they fit your dream customer avatar? If not, tough as it may be, maybe they will be better serviced by somebody else who could really give them the time and attention that they need. And who absolutely are your most important customers, your dream avatar, your perfect clients who make you profit, who love what you do, who aren't overly demanding because you can look after them so well. And let's think about building our business on those people. So last week I set you a challenge, and I have got another one for you this week as well. I would like you to look at your customer base and work out who's in your top 20% and who's in your bottom 80%. Now, this is a really easy piece of work. If you're using Xero, you just go into your Xero reporting section, and I think it's income by contact from memory. And I'm sure QuickBooks will do something different. Sage, I think it's in the credit control section, turnover by customer, month and year to date. But find out where in your accounting system you can run this report from. And even if you don't put it into a spreadsheet like I've done, you can look at it and you can visually see who's in the top, who's in the bottom, and go with your gut feel, like, where are the pain points? Who is a pain in the ass? Who are you scared of losing? Who do you worry about in the middle of the night? Because I don't think we should be running our business where any one customer's got that much power or control over us that we are actually scared of them and scared of losing them. It's not good for our business. It's not good for our profitability. Who do you know in your heart you don't make enough money from? Who are the loss makers? Who's the high demanding, high maintenance customers that you really wish you didn't have? I've got news for you. You don't have to look after anyone you don't want to. This is your business. This is your future, your life. You can choose. You really, really can. Do you know who your ideal customer is? Have you worked out that dream client? Like, this is, look at your customer list. Who do we want more of? Who do we love? Who pays us well? Who pays us on time? Who do we make profit on? Who are they? How do we get more of them? And who do you know needs to go on your sack list? I'm sure you know who they are. What if you were brave enough to actually put them on your sack list and to know that next time we get another customer in, they're going? Or if we can afford to do it now and they're losing us money, why wouldn't we do it now? So that is your challenge. I will post the challenge up in the group so you can see it separately. And I would like to know, put in the comments below if you're up for the challenge, if you're prepared to take some action this week to improve the profitability of your business and to take a good hard look at your customers. Because if you just carry on with what you've got without looking, guess what? Nothing's going to change. And I know you're here because you want to grow your business, you want to grow your profits, you want to have more cash, you want to grow the value of your company, you want to earn more money. And I know ultimately you want financial freedom. So that starts with doing some homework. It starts with digging into our business, looking at what's not working, looking where we're not making the profits we should be. And it really does start with our customer list, because if we're not making profit at that level, everything else you do isn't going to have that much impact. We've got to know that the business we take in, the turnover that we book, the income we have, has to be profitable. And it has to be profitable enough so that we can make the kind of money that we really want to. So there's your challenge for the week. I'll post it in the group later. Please let me know in the comments if you're watching on replay, and let me know if you're up for the challenge. I'd be very interested to see who is prepared to take some time out and make some effort to actually go and look at this area of their business. So have a great weekend. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week in the group. Bye now.